And nearly 130 people were arrested around Paris overnight as fans clashed with police following Paris Saint-Germain reaching the Champions League final. Interior Minister Laurent Nunez has said. He told Europe 1 Radio on Thursday that the total number of arrests was 127 in the Paris metropolitan area, including 107 in Paris after title holder PSG eliminated Bayern Munich to reach a second straight final and third since 2020.
Ukrainian tourist Ruslana Novak and her friend had Jordan's ancient city of Petra largely to themselves as they stood before its vast facade carved into pink sandstone since the United States and Israel's war on Iran began. In late February, the famed Rose City has been largely deserted, its usual crowds of foreign tourists all but gone.
And Spotify said on Thursday that its interactive AI DJ feature now supports 4 additional languages: French, German, Italian, and Brazilian Portuguese. Until now, the feature, which you can interact with to request songs and get AI-powered spoken commentary, was only available in English and Spanish. The companies, the AI DAJs, have different names and personalities to suit their respective languages: Maya, Ben, Alex, and Danny.
For the last few years, apps like Google's Notebook LM, Hero, and lately Adobe Acrobat have given users the ability to create podcasts based on existing material like documents, daily schedules, and articles. Now, Spotify is letting you access these podcasts within its app, but you'll need some programming tools to do so. The company said that if you already use a tool like OpenAI's Codex, Anthropic's Claude Code, or OpenClaw, you can use Spotify's new CLI tool, which is in beta, to create the podcast and import it to Spotify to consume later. Chinese AI companies may not be swimming in as much cash as their Western rivals, but their open source models are still facing no shortage of interest from those who don't mind a performance hit in exchange for cheap inference. And investors are taking notice. Moonshot AI, the Beijing-based AI lab developing the popular Kimi series of open-weight large language models, has raised about $2 billion at a valuation of $20 billion, according to a post by Huafeng Capital, which advised some investors who participated in the round.
And 2 days. That's all that's left to lock in your place with your partner, co-founder, or colleague at TechCrunch Disrupt 2026. Right now, you can buy one pass and get 50% off a second of the same ticket type, but that offer ends May 8 at 11:59 p.m. PT. After that, prices go up, and the opportunity to show up with more perspective, more context, and more clarity disappears with it.
A 90-year-old widow in Kotadu has finally regained possession of her property after a 56-year struggle following action by the local administration against illegal occupants. The case relates to one canal and 3 malas of land in Musabaik Kaimwala, Basti Gadi, where 2 of the woman's close relatives, identified as Jahangir and Muhammad Rashid, had allegedly remained in illegal occupation of the property for more than 5 decades. Qualcomm has introduced the Snapdragon 6 Gen 5 and Snapdragon 4 Gen 5 processors for mid-range and entry-level smartphones, focusing on gaming, smoother UI performance, and battery efficiency upgrades. The Snapdragon 6 Gen 5.0 introduces Adaptive Performance Engine 4.0 and Adaptive Performance FPS 3.0 for more stable gaming performance. It also supports Snapdragon Game Super Resolution for visual upscaling and battery optimization.
And the Sindh government has decided to purchase 1,000 more pink EV scooties for women and expand the province's mass transit network through the launch of intercity people's bus service routes. The decision was discussed during a meeting of the Transport and Mass Transit Department, chaired by Sindh Senior Minister for Information, Transport and Mass Transit, Sharjeel Enam Meeman. And the Punjab Prisons Department is continuing its recruitment drive for lady warders for women's prisons in Rawalpindi and other districts across the province. According to officials, both the physical and written tests of candidates have been completed under a transparent process, with merit being maintained at every stage of recruitment.
Cambridge International Education has cancelled AS level mathematics paper 970912 taken on April 29, 2026 in administrative zones 3 and 4 after the exam was shared before time in violation of examination rules. The exam body said the leaked paper will not be used to determine final results and confirmed that all affected candidates will have to appear in a replacement paper instead. The retake has been scheduled for Tuesday, June 9, 2026. Indus Cloud Limited, Indus DC REIT and UBL announced a landmark strategic partnership to develop and expand next-generation cloud computing and data center infrastructure across Pakistan. This collaboration marks a significant step towards strengthening the country's digital backbone and enabling secure, scalable and locally hosted cloud services for enterprises and public sector organizations. Under this partnership, the parties will collaborate on the development of Master Group of Industries Indus Cloud and Data Center project aimed at delivering state-of-the-art Tier 3 compliant data center facilities alongside advanced cloud capabilities tailored for Pakistan's evolving digital economy. Lahore. At least 4 children were killed and 20 people were injured after the roof of a classroom at a private school in Punjab's Dera Ghazi Khan collapsed on Thursday. The preliminary report of the incident released by the district administrations confirmed the number of casualties. The injured include 16 students, 2 teachers and as many labourers, according to the report, which is available with Dawn.
2 separate attacks in South Waziristan on Thursday killed 3 children and injured several people, security sources said. According to reports, an explosion occurred near a civilian settlement in the Gawa Kwa area of South Waziristan, while mortar shells were also fired at civilians by Afghan Taliban forces in the border tehsil of Angor. Some of Pakistan's prominent stars appeared on TV on Thursday to commemorate the first anniversary of the country's war against India. Actors Adnan Siddiqui, Ijaz Aslam, Bushra Ansari and Resham joined host Wasim Badami for a special transmission, recounting how they felt during the fighting and what they think the result of the conflict was.
China's top spy agency has come out of the shadows to warn that its young people are being duped by foreign forces into shirking hard work and prioritising their individual emotions at the expense of national development. It hasn't landed well online. Young people are China's future and have also become a primary target for ideological infiltration by hostile anti-China forces abroad, says a handsome young man wearing military uniform in a video posted by the State Security Ministry's official account last week.
And a South Korean appeals court has reduced the sentence of former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo by 8 years for crimes relating to ex-President Yoon Suk-yeol's declaration of martial law. The verdict was issued in the South Korean capital, Seoul, on Thursday.
Israel's military has launched an investigation after a photo circulated online showing a soldier desecrating a statue of the Virgin Mary in southern Lebanon. The military said on Wednesday that it viewed the incident gravely and promised action against the soldier, according to the Times of Israel.
The 23rd edition of the FIFA World Cup, the biggest ever, will see 48 nations compete for the prize in a 39-day tournament in Canada, Mexico, and the United States. 16 venues across the 3 nations will host 104 matches as the tournament returns to North America after 32 years.
Tickets to World Cup matches in Toronto can now only be resold for their original price on FIFA Marketplace after football's world governing body updated its policy to comply with the Ontario government's recent ban on reselling event tickets above face value. The new terms, implemented on Wednesday, came 1 week after tickets for 6 matches at Toronto Stadium were removed from the official marketplace, passing its 2026 budget bill. An Israeli air attack on Gaza City has killed one person and wounded the son of Khalil al-Hayya, the head of Hamas's political bureau and the group's top negotiator in indirect talks with Israel. The attack took place in Gaza City's Daraj neighborhood on Wednesday and wounded at least 9 other Palestinians, according to Med. Earlier this week, 5 people who touch every layer of the AI supply chain sat down at the Milken Global Conference in Beverly Hills, where they talked with this editor about everything from chip shortages to orbital data centers, to the possibility that the whole architecture that undergirds the tech is wrong, on stage with TechCrunch. Christophe Fouquet, CEO of ASML, the Dutch company that holds a monopoly on the extreme ultraviolet lithography machines without which modern chips would not exist. Francis de Souza, COO of Google Cloud, who is overseeing one of the biggest infrastructure bets in corporate history. Kassar Younis, co-founder and CEO of Applied Intuition, a $15 billion physical AI company that started in simulation and has since moved into defense. Dmitry Shevelenko, the chief business officer of Perplexity, the AI-native search-to-agents company, and Yves Bodnia, a quantum physicist who left academia to challenge the foundational architecture most of the AI industry takes for granted at her startup, Logical Intelligence. Meta's former chief AI scientist, Yann LeCun, signed on as founding chair of its technical research board earlier this year.
Pakistan has given written assurances to the International Monetary Fund that it will scrap its existing electricity subsidy structure for low-usage consumers and replace it with a targeted support mechanism from January 2027 as the government pushes ahead with power sector reforms tied to external financing. Under the planned overhaul, subsidies for households consuming up to 200 units of electricity will be phased out and replaced with a targeted system linked to data from the Benazir Income Support Program. A Senate subcommittee meeting chaired by Samad Ali reviewed cases filed under the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act, Pehel, with officials presenting details of cases registered against citizens, journalists, and social media activists across Pakistan. According to the data shared during the meeting, a total of 689 PICA cases have been filed nationwide. Lahore and Multan each recorded 129 cases, while Faisalabad reported 127 cases. Rawalpindi registered 72 cases, followed by Peshawar, Abbottabad and Gujranwala with significant numbers. Smaller case counts were reported from Islamabad with 10 cases, Quetta with 14 and Gilgit with 1 case. The Kachari Chowk remodeling project in Rawalpindi is expected to open for traffic next week, with authorities likely to make the intersection signal-free through newly constructed flyovers and underpasses. Chief Traffic Officer Sito Farhan Aslam said the project is expected to become operational on Tuesday next week, bringing relief to thousands of commuters affected since construction began in November 2025. The Sindh government has approved a $14 billion Early Childhood Development ECD program under which caregivers of children up to 5 years of age will receive $3,000 every quarter. The decision was taken during the third board meeting of the Sindh Social Protection Authority, SSB, chaired by Sindh Chief Minister Syed Murad Ali Shah on Wednesday. Under the program, financial assistance will be provided for child growth monitoring, nutrition counseling and school readiness support. Gunmen on motorbikes in India's West Bengal ambushed and killed a political aide from the ruling Hindu Nationalist Party days after it swept state elections, police said Thursday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, won a resounding victory on Monday in the eastern state of more than 100 million people, taking 207 of the 294 assembly seats for its first ever state victory in West Bengal. The PTI on Thursday expressed concern and anger over reports of Imran Khan's wife Bushra Bibi being suddenly and secretly taken to the hospital in the middle of the night and then taken back to jail. The entire matter is shrouded in unusual secrecy, a lack of transparency, and serious human rights violations which have raised countless questions in the minds of the nation, the party said.
And the second day of the second edition of the Breathe Pakistan International Climate Change Conference, organised by Dawn Media, is currently underway in Islamabad. Despite contributing minimally to global emissions, Pakistan remains among the most climate vulnerable nations, underscoring the critical need for coordinated, locally grounded and globally informed responses.
In information warfare, perception is the battlefield. If the news damages the other side, true or false, amplify it, post it, share it, make it viral. Let panic spread across the border. If the news harms us, bury it, suppress it, disarm it before it spreads. This is not journalism. This is war. Every post is a bullet. Never fire one at your own country. Anonymous ex-user, Indo-Pak conflict, May 2025.